friends, are you ready to read our last chapter? All right, this is chapter 30, Lewis. Lewis had a red face and a mustache of many colors. He was a yard teacher at Wayside School. It was his job to see that the children didn't have too much fun during lunch and recess. And if you haven't already guessed it, he is the one who wrote this book. By Lewis Satcher. On June 10th, there was a blizzard. Lewis was afraid that the children would have too much fun, so nobody was allowed outside. "Class," said Mrs. Jules, "after you finish lunch today, come back up to the classroom. You are not allowed outside." The children all went to the lunchroom. Mrs. Mush had made tuna surprise. They looked at it and then they hurried back upstairs. There was nothing to do. "Now, class," said Mrs. Jules, "I know that you are all bored, but I have a special surprise for you." "I hope it's better than that tuna surprise," said Mauricia. Mrs. Jules continued, "Lewis is going to come up and entertain us. He will tell us a story. Now, I want you all to be on your best behavior." When Lewis walked in, all the children booed. "Are you going to tell us a story?" asked Bibi. "Yes," said Lewis. "Well, it better be good," Bibi warned. "It better be better than tuna surprise," said Butterfingers. "I thought the tuna surprise was good," said Lewis. "You'd eat dirt if they put enough ketchup on it," said Mac. "Hey, everybody, be quiet," said Todd. "Let him tell a story." "Not too loud, Lewis," said Sherry. "I'm trying to get some sleep." Lewis sat in the middle of the room, and all the children gathered around. Lewis began his story. This is a story about a school very much like this one. But before we started, there is something you ought to know so that you don't get confused. In this school, every classroom is on the same story. "Which one? The 18th?" asked Jenny. "No," said Lewis. "They are all on the ground. The school is only one story high." "Not so much of a school. So think about how their school is. Think about a normal school." Lewis continued, "Now, you might think that the children there are silly and strange, and that's probably true. However, when I told them stories about you, they thought that you were strange and silly." "Us?" the children answered. "How are we strange?" "I'm normal," said Stephen. "Aren't I?" "As normal as I am," Joe assured him. "The children at the school, they must be crazy," said Leslie. "Real Lulus," Mauricia agreed. "Tell us about them, Lewis," Bibi demanded. "Well, for one thing, none of these children have ever been turned into an apple." "That's silly," said Dee Dee. "Everybody's been turned into an apple. It's a part of growing up." Lewis continued, "Dead rats don't walk into classrooms wearing raincoats." "What do they wear, tuxedos?" asked Todd. "And girls never try to sell their toes," Lewis added. "Well, no wonder," said Leslie, "at today's prices." Lewis continued, "They don't trade their names or read upside down. They can't turn into mosquito bites into numbers, and they don't count the hairs on their heads. The walls don't laugh, and 2 + 2 always equals 4. "How horrible," said Damien. "That's not the worst of it," said Lewis. "They have never tasted Mauricia-flavored ice cream." A hush fell over the classroom. "Mrs. Jules, I'm scared," said Allison. "Is there really a school like that?" "Of course not," said Mrs. Jules. "Lewis was just telling a story." "It was a good story," said Leslie. "I thought it was silly," said Kathy. "I liked it," said Rondi. "It was funny." Mrs. Jules said, "Lewis, it was very entertaining, but we really don't go into fairy tales here, and I'm trying to teach my class the truth." "That's all right," said Lewis. "I have to go to my room 29 now and tell them the same story." He started out the door. "Class," said Mrs. Jules, "let's all thank Lewis for his wonderful story." Everybody booed. The end. If you like this book, there's more. If we were at school, you'd be able to read the other ones that I ordered for you guys. But if you liked it, you guys can order it from Amazon or the bookstore or wherever. They're super funny, and I love them.